Hi and welcome to Hoffman's Hot Seat. I'm Tom Hoffman with One-to-One Media. Joining me today is Jesse Engel, co-founder and CEO at CoTweet. Today we'll be discussing steps that marketing leaders can take to leverage Twitter to develop tighter relationships with customers. Jesse, thanks very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Tom. It's a pleasure to speak with you.
Jesse, what are some ways that marketing leaders can utilize Twitter to develop tighter relationships with customers?
Tom, companies are using Twitter across the enterprise in a number of ways to develop tighter relationships with customers. Marketers are using Twitter to humanize their brand, drive traffic, and establish relationships with influential people in social media. Public relations uses Twitter to share news and to manage crises, and customer service uses Twitter to respond to customer service requests. All of these things at some level represent marketing activities, and good customer service provided publicly in a public forum is actually really strong marketing.
Can you point to some CoTweet customers that have done this successfully?
There are thousands of customers who are using CoTweet every day to do this. A couple that come to mind. McDonald's recently used CoTweet to engage in conversations that resulted from the Shrek glass product recall that they had. The Shrek glass that they were offering was found to some cadmium in it, and so McDonald's proactively got out in front of this. They offered a program where they actually offered a $3 refund on a $2.50 purchase, and then they managed the resulting conversations that were happening in real time using CoTweet. So CoTweet enabled their response team of over 20 people to handle thousands of messages and really prevent a negative groundswell from happening. Another good example that's fairly recent is Iceland Air. Iceland Air used CoTweet to communicate real-time messages regarding flight status updates to passengers who were affected by the volcano that took place.
What are some recommendations that you'd make for Twitter neophytes for getting started?
The first recommendation is to jump in and get started. Set up searches on your brand names and competitors. Start listening for conversations that involve your brand. Reach out to others within your organization across different functional areas and establish a social media engagement team. Establish policies that govern your company's engagement in social media, and then begin to think about how do the conversations that we're having in social media on Twitter and Facebook, how do those become integrated within other systems of record within the enterprise? For instance, the systems that are used to manage customer service activity, the systems that are managed for email marketing activity, and CRM systems. Ultimately, the data that's coming from social media is really valuable in those systems, and a longer-term strategy that involves integrating your social media activity within your existing systems of record is really going to be critical.
So Jesse, what are some of the things that marketing leaders are struggling with as they approach the use of social media?
Companies need a way to enable teams of people within their organization to collaborate in real time to engage in the conversations happening on the real-time web. Conversations taking place in social media take many different forms and need to be sorted, prioritized, and assigned to the most appropriate person for response. It's also important to maintain a complete record of all the conversations that your company has had with every individual, so that as you re-engage with that person, you can see the prior history and understand what kind of conversations you or someone else in your team has had with that person in the past. It's really critical when you're managing thousands of conversations with thousands of different people. And lastly, it's also really important for companies to be able to identify the conversations that are happening about their products and brands so they can jump in and engage in real time.
All right, terrific. Well, Jesse, thanks so much for sharing this advice with us today.
My pleasure, Tom. Thanks again for having me.